Hello and welcome to Decision 2024. We have Senator Josh Hawley with his running mate Governor of Florida Ron DeSantis versus Governor Andrew Cuomo with his running mate Governor of Michigan Gretchen Whitmer. The current Senate majority is Democrats have the majority with 51 seats to Republicans 49 seats. It is now 7 p.m. and the following states have poll closings. Georgia is too close to call. Josh Hawley has a lead in the state. Indiana is projected to go to Josh Hawley. Kentucky projected to go to Josh Hawley. South Carolina projected to go to Josh Hawley. Vermont projected to go to Andrew Cuomo. Virginia too close to call. Andrew Cuomo has a lead in the race. Here's the current map thus far. Josh Hawley has a lead of 28-3. The Indiana Senate race, Mike Braun wins re-election, defeating Woody Myers. The Vermont Senate race, Phil Scott wins, defeating incumbent David Zuckerman. Phil Scott appointed Zuckerman to the seat after Bernie Sanders passed away late last year. And then he would announce his intention to run after Zuckerman did not go through with the progressiveness that the Bernie Sanders had solidified through his career in the Senate. Virginia, Tim Kaine wins re-election, defeating Scott Taylor. Here's the current Senate map thus far. The Indiana governor race, Greg Pence, the brother of the sitting Vice President Mike Pence, wins, defeating Barron Hill. Vermont, T.J. Donovan wins, defeating Randy Brock, a gain for Democrats in the governor races. Here's the current governor map thus far. It is now time for the 7:30 p.m. poll closings. North Carolina, too close to call. Josh Hawley has a lead in the race. Ohio, too close to call. Josh Hawley has a lead in the race. West Virginia, projected to go to Josh Hawley. Andrew Cuomo is now the projected winner in Virginia. Georgia, however, is still too close to call. Josh Hawley keeps his lead in the state. Here's the current map thus far. Josh Hawley leads 32-16. Sherrod Brown wins re-election, defeating Governor Mike DeWine in the Ohio Senate race. West Virginia, a net gain for Republicans. John McBride defeats incumbent Joe Manchin to go on to represent West Virginia in the Senate. Here's the current Senate map thus far. North Carolina, Josh Stein is the new governor, defeating Robert Brawley. West Virginia, Richard Ojeda finally picks up a win in politics, defeating Mitch Carmichael. This is a net gain for Democrats in the governor races. Here's the current map thus far. It is now 8 p.m. and the following states have poll closings. Alabama, projected to go to Josh Hawley. Connecticut, projected to go to Andrew Cuomo. Delaware, projected to go to Andrew Cuomo. Washington, D.C., projected to go to Andrew Cuomo. Florida, too close to call. This is the home state of Josh Hawley's running mate. Speaking of which, Josh Hawley does have a lead in this race. Illinois, projected to go to Andrew Cuomo. Maine at large, too close to call. Andrew Cuomo does have a lead in the race. Maine's 1st district projected to go to Andrew Cuomo. However, Maine's 2nd district projected to go to Josh Hawley. Maryland projected to go to Andrew Cuomo, as well as Massachusetts. Mississippi and the Republican nominee's home state, Missouri, projected to go to Josh Hawley. New Hampshire, too close to call. Andrew Cuomo does have a lead in the race. New Jersey, projected to go to Andrew Cuomo. Oklahoma, projected to go to Josh Hawley. Pennsylvania, too close to call. Andrew Cuomo does have a lead in the race. Rhode Island, projected to go to Andrew Cuomo. Tennessee, projected to go to Josh Hawley. Georgia, now being projected to go to Josh Hawley. North Carolina, still too close to call. Josh Hawley has a lead in the race. Ohio is also too close to call. Josh Hawley keeps his lead in this race. Here's the current map thus far. Josh Hawley leads 91-68. Chris Murphy wins re-election, defeating Chris Shays in the Connecticut Senate race. John Carney wins the Delaware Senate race, defeating Rocky De La Fuente. Florida Senate race, Rick Scott is re-elected, defeating Wayne Massam. Maine Senate race, Paula Page defeats Jared Golden. This is a net gain for Republicans in the Senate. Massachusetts Senate race, Charlie Baker wins, defeating incumbent Elizabeth Warren. The Maryland Senate race, Ben Cardin is re-elected, defeating Chris Chaffee. Mississippi, Roger Wicker is re-elected, defeating Will Otis. The Missouri Senate race, this was Josh Hawley's seat. Mike Parson picks up the seat, defeating Nicole Galloway, his 2020 opponent. They are meeting again once again in 4 years, this time for a Senate race. The New Jersey Senate race, Bob Menendez wins re-election, defeating John Crowley. Pennsylvania, Bob Casey Jr. wins re-election, defeating Kim Ward. Rhode Island Senate race, Sheldon Whitehouse wins re-election, defeating Lincoln Chaffee. Tennessee, Marsha Blackburn wins re-election, defeating John Wolfe Jr. Here's the current map thus far for the Senate. Delaware, Hunter Biden is the projected winner, defeating Ken Simpler. Missouri, this was Mike Parson's seat until when he decided to run for Senate. Jay Ashcroft, the current Secretary of State, has defeated Jason Kander to become Missouri's next governor. New Hampshire, Chris Sununu wins re-election, defeating Chris Pappas. It is now time for the 8:30 p.m. poll closings. Arkansas is projected to go to Josh Hawley. North Carolina is now being called to go to Josh Hawley, as well as Ohio. Both states will go to Josh Hawley. Florida, however, is still too close to call. Josh Hawley remains his lead in the state. Maine at large, still too close to call. Andrew Cuomo does have a lead in the race. New Hampshire, still too close to call. Andrew Cuomo keeps his lead in this race. Pennsylvania, too close to call. Andrew Cuomo does have a lead in the race. Here's the current electoral map. Josh Hawley has a lead, 130 to 68. It is now 9 p.m. and the following states have poll closings. Arizona, too close to call. Andrew Cuomo has a lead in the race. This is a state Joe Biden won by less than 1%. Colorado, too close to call. Andrew Cuomo does have a lead in the race. Kansas, projected to go to Josh Hawley, as well as Louisiana. Michigan is too close to call. This is Andrew Cuomo's running mate's home state. Minnesota, too close to call. Andrew Cuomo has a narrow lead in this race. This is a state Trump won by less than 1% last year, and a lot of pundits are saying this is going to go to Cuomo's column. But as we have polling data as of now, it looks like it could go either way. Nebraska, except its second congressional district, is projected to go to Josh Hawley. The second district's too close to call, but Josh Hawley does have a lead in that district. New Mexico, too close to call. Andrew Cuomo does have a lead in the race. New York, Andrew Cuomo's home state, is projected to go to him. North Dakota and South Dakota, both being projected to go to Josh Hawley. Texas, too close to call. Josh Hawley has a lead in this race. Wisconsin, too close to call. Andrew Cuomo does have a lead in the race. Wyoming, projected to go to Josh Hawley. We now have a call from the state of Florida. Josh Hawley is the projected winner in the state of Florida. This is his running mate's home state. A very popular governor, Ron DeSantis, is from the state of Florida. Florida does seem to have a lot of very popular governors from that state. We have a call from New Hampshire. This is a net gain. Trump won this by less than 1%, but it looks like Andrew Cuomo has won the state by roughly 2 to 3 percentage points. He has flipped the state of New Hampshire. Maine at large is too close to call. Andrew Cuomo does have a lead in the race. This is a state Joe Biden also won by less than 1. Pennsylvania, too close to call. Andrew Cuomo does have a lead in the race. Here's the current electoral map thus far. Hawley has a lead, 188 to 99. The Arizona Senate race, Kirsten Sinema wins re-election, defeating Kylie Ward. Michigan Senate race, Debbie Stabenow is re-elected, defeating John Engler. Minnesota, Amy Klobuchar is re-elected, defeating Governor Mike Lindell. Nebraska Senate race, Deb Fischer is re-elected, defeating Chris Butler. New Mexico Senate race, Mark Heinrich is re-elected, defeating former Governor Susana Martinez. New York, after defeating Kirsten Gillibrand in the primary, AOC has won this election, defeating Ryan Kolb handedly. North Dakota, Kevin Cramer has won re-election, defeating Joel Heitkamp. Texas, Ted Cruz has been re-elected, defeating the brother of Texas Governor Julian Castro. Ted Cruz has defeated Joaquin Castro. Wisconsin, Tammy Baldwin has won re-election, defeating Tom Tiffany. Wyoming, John Barrasso was won re-election, defeating David Freudenthal. Here's the current Senate map thus far. North Dakota governor race, Brent Sanford has won this election, becoming North Dakota's new governor, defeating Aaron Oban. Here's the current governor map so far. It is now 10 p.m. and the following states have poll closings. Iowa projected to go to Josh Hawley. A lot of pundits had this race a lot closer, but it looks like Josh Hawley has handedly won the state by over 10. Montana projected to go to Josh Hawley. Nevada, too close to call. This is a state Joe Biden won by less than 1%, and a lot of pundits are saying is going to be close. Some say it'll go to Cuomo, some say it'll go to Hawley, but it looks like Cuomo has a lead in this race so far. Utah projected to go to Josh Hawley. Colorado is now being projected to go to Andrew Cuomo. Maine at large is projected to go to Andrew Cuomo. Joe Biden won the state by 1%, or less than 1, as we had mentioned earlier in the night. But it looks like he has won it by roughly 3 to 4 percentage points, making the state trend blue from the last election cycle. Arizona is too close to call. Andrew Cuomo has a lead in the race. Michigan, too close to call. Andrew Cuomo has a lead in the race. Minnesota, too close to call. It looks like it has swung from the blue to red column. Josh Hawley has a lead in the race in Minnesota. Nebraska's 2nd district is too close to call, but it looks like Josh Hawley could end up winning the state here soon, or the district. New Mexico's too close to call. Andrew Cuomo has a lead in the race. Texas, too close to call. Josh Hawley has a lead in the race. Wisconsin, too close to call. Andrew Cuomo only has a 0.5% lead over Josh Hawley. Pennsylvania, too close to call. Andrew Cuomo has a 0.1% lead over Josh Hawley. This is a close race. Pennsylvania might end up becoming our closest race yet. Here's the current electoral map thus far. Josh Hawley leading 204 to 130. Montana Senate race. Greg Gianforte has defeated incumbent John Tester. This is a net gain for Republicans in the Senate. Nevada, Jackie Rosen has defeated Joe Hecht. She has won re-election. Utah, Mitt Romney wins re-election, defeating Ben McAdams. Here's the current Senate map thus far. Montana's governor race, Mike Cooney has been re-elected, defeating Tim Fox. Utah, Spencer Cox has been re-elected, defeating Scott Howell. Here's the current governor map thus far. It is now 11 p.m. and the following states have poll closings. California projected to go to Andrew Cuomo. Hawaii projected to go to Andrew Cuomo. Idaho projected to go to Josh Hawley. Oregon, too close to call. Andrew Cuomo does have a lead in the race. Washington projected to go to Andrew Cuomo. Arizona, and we now have a call for Arizona. It is now going to Andrew Cuomo. We now have a projection. It is now going to Andrew Cuomo. We have a call from Minnesota. Josh Hawley has kept Minnesota in his column and made the state trend red from 2020. He has won it by 3 to 4 percentage points. Nebraska's 2nd district. Josh Hawley has won the district of Nebraska's 2nd congressional district. New Mexico projected to go to Andrew Cuomo. Nevada, this is the first flip for Republicans, and it might be the only flip for Josh Hawley tonight, as he has flipped the state of Nevada. Josh Hawley has also won the state of Texas. Oregon is now being projected to go to Andrew Cuomo. 15 minutes after poll closing, we now have a solid call. Oregon is now going to Andrew Cuomo. Michigan, the Andrew Cuomo's running mate's home state. Andrew Cuomo has a lead in the race. Wisconsin, too close to call. It has swung from blue to red as Josh Hawley now has a lead in the race. Pennsylvania, Josh Hawley has a lead in the race. Here is the current electoral map thus far. Josh Hawley leads 265 to 226. Breaking news, Governor Andrew Cuomo has conceded the election to Senator Josh Hawley, or I guess we can call him President-elect Josh Hawley now. Andrew Cuomo has conceded the race as he is slipping in the 2 out of the 3 states he needed to win this election. He is slipping in 2 of those polls, mainly Wisconsin and Pennsylvania. If those were to hold, he would only end up winning the state of Michigan out of the 3 Rust Belt states that we have yet to call, and Josh Hawley would end up winning Wisconsin and Pennsylvania if the numbers hold. California Senate race, Gavin Newsom has won, defeating incumbent Dianne Feinstein. Hawaii Mazzarino has won re-election to being Duke Iona. Washington Maria Cantwell has won re-election, defeating Philip Yin. Here is the current Senate map thus far, the final Senate map actually. In Washington, Jay Inslee has won an unprecedented fourth term, defeating Doug Erickson. Here's the final governor map. It is now 1 a.m. and we have the poll closings for the final state, Alaska. Alaska projected to go to Josh Hawley. It is now 1:32 at night and in the morning, and Andrew Cuomo has flipped the state of Michigan. He has won Michigan. A lot of people said that he should take back his conceding to Josh Hawley, but he has chosen not to. From the reports that we have, it is now 2:02 a.m. and Josh Hawley has won the state of Wisconsin. Josh Hawley has won the state of Wisconsin, and by turn has been elected the 46th president of the United States. Josh Hawley is the 46th president of the United States of America. It is now 3:23 a.m. and Josh Hawley has won the state of Pennsylvania. He has narrowly won the state of Pennsylvania. A very close election. A lot of people are thinking that the closest election could be Florida, possibly, but it looks like Pennsylvania has become a close race that Josh Hawley has picked up. Here's the final electoral map. Josh Hawley wins 297 to 241. Here's the final Senate map. Here is the final governor map, and we do have a marginal map for the electoral map. As we can see, we had some close elections. Only one state has been won by less than 1%, and that is the state of Pennsylvania. The only state that was won by less than 1%. The Senate majority does go to the Republican Party, however. They have flipped a lot of seats as they have a majority of 53 to 47. They have won the Senate. However, it doesn't look so good for the House, though, as the Democrat Party has narrowly held the House from 2022, as they have enough seats to hold the majority, 217 to 215. But they do keep the House to themselves for at least another 2 years. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Links to my main channel, gaming channel, Instagram, and Twitter are in the description below. Have an idea for a video? Tell us down in the comments.